Welcome everyone to our Week 7 NFL predictions video. I'm Isaac, a Panthers fan. That's Daniel, a Texans fan. We're both feeling pretty good right about now, especially me. My team's 3-3. Can't remember the last time I could say that. Daniel, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling pretty neutral because my team just came off a bye. But if anything, I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to play. But I am looking forward to next week against the Seahawks on a late Monday night game. So not only are we coming off a bye, but we have an extra day and an extra few hours. So, but it's in Seattle though, which is pretty tough. But no, I feel pretty good as well. I think you now have like a 1 or 2 point advantage.
I have the 1 point advantage because I was down 1 last week, but I got both swing games right this week. So
that
the current score is
59-33-1
for me, 58-34-1 for you. So about as close as it can get.
Just about as close as it can get, and it's been this close for the last few weeks. I mean, if not even the whole season. I mean, I guess it was a little bit farther out, But anyway, but it's been very close. It's been very close, very fun. Last week, as you mentioned, very few swing games. Only had 2, and we'll see. But honestly, in today's NFL in 2025, we have no idea who's good. Are the Colts and Patriots going to run the AFC again? Are the Falcons good? Are the Bears good? What's going on?
The Panthers are better than the Falcons, so we are basically Super Bowl contenders at this point, obviously. But yeah, I'm glad you had a good week, and as a Texans fan, you got news that the Titans fired their coach, so that's a little bit sad because that means they might actually be competent now. We'll see. But
right.
Yeah. I went 13-2 this week, which I feel great about because last week I went 5-9 or something egregious like that. You went 11-4, so we both had pretty good weeks. The swing games were Dallas against Carolina. I kick Carolina just like I do every week. And then the Monday night game, the late one, Bears-Commanders, that was a great game. I think those two teams just always play each other really well. But we'll go ahead and dive into the Thursday night game to start off our picks. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have a top 5 record in the NFL now, by the way, at Cincinnati. I think this game has upset potential all over. It's a divisional game. The Thursday night games have been close and competitive so far, and I think that this one will be as well. Joe Flacco stepped into Cincinnati, and he played better than Jake Browning had played at any point this season. He didn't turn the ball over is basically what I mean by that. I am going to pick the Bengals to upset the Steelers. I'm coming out swinging here with a bold prediction. The Bengals win at home on Thursday night. Joe Flacco goes for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the Steelers offense they don't quite keep up. It'll be like a 24-23 type of score. Give me Cincinnati. I don't feel confident, but I'm going with it.
All right, well, I'll be here for it. And we'll have our first swing game just like that because I can't pull the trigger on Cincinnati just from what I've seen from them and everything like that. I am picking Pittsburgh. Part of it is Cincinnati. I just don't think they're that good. I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to say that. Although, why would a rocket scientist have opinions about football? But that's beside the point. You don't need to be John Madden to say that. The Bengals aren't very good, but also I think the Steelers have been playing a little bit better than maybe they're given credit for. They're not some explosive offense. They're not very fun to watch necessarily, but Aaron Rodgers on paper is playing very well, and they are winning these close games. And so I do think it has upset potential written all over it. I do agree with you there. I was very tempted to take the upset. It is in Cincinnati. Joe Flacco will have another week of knowing the playbook and everything like that. He's playing, for what it's worth, a former division rival, I guess, from multiple teams. I don't know if that really has any weight to it, but it's got to be something, right? And, this could be. The Bengals, are they what? They're 2-3 now at this point, or are they 2-4?
2-4, I believe, but they still have a lot of talent on offense, so they could go off.
They're still, from their perspective, they're still gasping for air. They're not the Jets, whose basically season's over, or the Titans, who just fired their coach. They're still gasping for air.
They think that they can compete with Flacco. That's why they made that trade.
For sure.
As long as he takes care of the ball, I think they can keep it close. That's what it hinges on.
I can definitely understand how this will be, maybe a little bit closer than we might have imagined, or even if there's an upset. But I'm taking the Steelers. I just can't quite pull the trigger. But, I respect the Bengals pick for sure.
All right, man. I figured we'd have a swing game here, which makes it even more bold to go in and make this bold prediction anyway, but I'm sticking by it. For what it's worth, I'm not trying to hate on the Steelers, although I do dislike them. I do believe they are, in the standings, they have 1 loss, so they have one of the best records in the league. I just don't believe in them. I think they are a very mediocre team. I would pick at least 10 teams to beat them on the field, on a neutral field for sure. Their best win is against New England, and I think that was mostly New England doing their best to lose by feeding Vermonter Stevenson and he fumbling the ball. So, I mean, they're fine. Right. I'm not saying they're bad or anything. I just think they're due for a loss, and this is a good spot. If not, it'll be 3 games after that where it gets tough.
They'll be tested after this because they got Green Bay and then Indianapolis, both in Pittsburgh, but those will still be very testing games. They go to the Chargers and the Bengals again, Bears, Bills, Ravens when they might be more hot. So they'll be tested for sure. We'll see. They'll start 4-2, 5-1, one of those records most likely, unless it's a tie. But
we'll let it be a tie.
We'll see if they can kind of like continue to contend in the AFC or if they just kind of like fall off like they did last year. But should be fun.
You can put it that way. It should be fun, as this team is extremely boring. But hey, you got Aaron Rodgers, so at least there's some storyline to follow.
That's true.
Next up, you've got the LA Rams taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in a rare good London game, or so we believe. The Rams are a pretty good team, one of the best in the NFC, at least we think so. They did struggle against Baltimore last week, a Baltimore team that doesn't really have a defense because everyone they have on that roster is in the hospital at the moment, basically. The Jags have been impressive so far this season. They do boast a good win over Kansas City from a couple weeks ago, but then last week they fell short against Seattle.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Rams in this game because I do think they have the better overall roster. They should have the better receivers, the better run game, the better coach, definitely the better quarterback, and I think that their defenses are pretty comparable, but I do trust the Rams more here. I know London is basically a second home for the Jaguars, but give me the Rams in this one. Probably a close game. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. I'm going to pick the Rams as well. I do agree, though, that like London has been the Jags' second home, but like, I don't know. Do the Jags actually have a good record in London? I actually don't.
I have no idea. They're never good when they play in London.
Yeah, you don't think so. Jags record in London. I wonder if the AI will just tell me. They're apparently 6-5 in London, which is actually a little bit better than I would have thought, given that they sucked all those years. But I digress. I do think the Rams are the better team. I think they'll travel better, just generally. It's not like the Jags have been in London and like, because they play in America, right? They played in Seattle in America, and so like. It's not like they'll both be equally jet lagged theoretically. I know Jags aren't East Coast, but probably won't make much of a big difference. But I do think the Rams are better, and also I do think the Jags are a little bit fraudulent. Like Trevor Lawrence, you just don't know what you're getting, and the defense is pretty good, but like honestly, like seems like the offense is very inconsistent. Like, is Brian Thomas good? Like, what's Travis Hunter doing when he's on the field? Like, it seems like there's so much inconsistency there. And I do think that's where we could start to see that like fall off to where maybe we thought earlier they were like an 11-win team and they're more likely an 8 or 9-win team. And the Rams are just better. And we'll see how well the Rams play, if they can utilize all their skill position players. But yeah, give me the Rams too.
Fair enough. For the record, I wouldn't call them frauds, but that's because I've never viewed them as a like 11 or 12 type win team. Even after they beat the Chiefs, I think I still had them going 9-8, and I boldly proclaimed they still would miss the playoffs. So my view of them hasn't really changed. I still think they win probably 9 or 8 games. But yeah, I guess we're in agreement here. The Rams should be able to take care of business, and if they don't, well, we'll respect the Jags even more.
I guess so. I mean, hard not to respect the Jags after beating the Chiefs and the Rams.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, though.
We'll see.
Moving on, it's the New Orleans Saints losing at the Chicago Bears. We can stop talking about this game.
No, wait. There's one anecdote that I don't want you to forget, which is that do you remember how in Oklahoma, Spencer Rattler, who's the starting quarterback for the Saints, was the starter, but then Caleb Williams replaced him? Remember that game against Texas, I believe?
I did watch that.
Yeah. I actually tend to believe that. So this is basically the Spencer Rattler revenge game, if you think about it. Spencer Rattler versus former backup / replaced starter. And I tend to think that actually the Saints and Spencer Rattler are going to be like motivated and everything like that. They're going to rally behind Spencer Rattler. Like there's going to be like a little anger. I'm just doing. Bears win next game.
Oh, thank goodness. Take that, Saints. It's the game of the week, if you like tank bowls. The 1-5 Dolphins at the 1-5 Cleveland Browns. This game is going to suck. Do not turn this game on. You will regret it. If you are a fan of either team, you should be rooting for a loss at this point in the year. You want a good draft pick. Be that as it may, both teams are going to show up and fight it out. Maybe they'll do well, probably not. I'm going to take the Browns in this game because having watched the Miami defense numerous times, I know their run defense is not the greatest, and I think Quinshon Judkins at Cleveland, he should be able to run over them. I think Cleveland's defense should be able to get enough stops on the Miami offense, and I think Tua will probably turn it over at least twice in this game. It's going to be a close one, of course, because these teams are both bad, but give me the Browns to pull away late. Daniel, what do you got?
I'm actually going to agree with you there. I am going to take the Browns here for a lot of the reasons that you said, and also I think this is a good get comfortable game for Dylan Gabriel against that Dolphins defense and their lack of a secondary and things like that. Now, who knows? I mean, also the Browns defense is really good, so maybe they'll win more because of that than their offense. But regardless, I don't even know. It's football for fun, so of course I'm going to start to break down why the 1-5 Browns will beat the 1-5 Dolphins. But also I will add in a little bonus. Not that I will get bonus points for that, but this has to be the Mike McDaniel fired game, right? They lose, they're already talking about, Tua's talking about how players are late to meetings and things like that. Just
dude, player meetings are already such a bad indication, but then players not showing up to the player meetings? What? I mean, what is happening in Miami?
You could argue McDaniel doesn't have anything to do with it. I don't know, but still, it's a very toxic culture. I think someone in our chat was asking who's the most toxic team, not fan base, but team, and I kind of suggested the Dolphins. It just seems there's a lot of toxicity in that building. So I do believe that the Browns win the game. I do think they're the better team, especially in Cleveland, and this will be Mike McDaniel's last probably football game ever as a head coach. I doubt he would get rehired after. Maybe he has a career renaissance for all I know. But,
he's a young guy, as possibly as he revives his career later on. Yeah, I think someone's going to get him as an offensive coordinator, though, because I think he can be a good offensive coordinator, but head coach material, he's got work to do.
Hey, come to Houston. Join D'Amico. He was also on 49ers staff. They probably worked together, right? I think.
Yeah, at some point, I'm sure there's overlap.
D'Amico, DC. I think there is. Yeah. McDaniel, come to, although maybe our offense coordinator too. I'm not sure. But anyway, McDaniel, come to Houston as our OC, obviously.
Hey, we'll see. But first, we need Cleveland to take care of business here. We're both picking them. Yep. Hopefully, we're right. Next up, we've got the Vegas Raiders trying to play a football game against the Kansas City Chiefs. To be fair, the Raiders just beat one of the worst teams in football, so I guess they aren't the worst team in football themselves. Bottom 3, maybe, but not bottom 2. Good for them. Kansas City is back, though. I don't think they were ever really gone. We were never really worried about them. We've both always said they will win their division, and that's going to include a big win over the Raiders here. I got them by double digits. There's no reason for the Chiefs to lose here, and if they do, I'm just going to be laughing at them with the rest of you. So give me the Chiefs here. Daniel?
But by transitive property, the Raiders are the best team in the league. Why are we disrespecting them like that? But no, I do have the Chiefs winning as well. They're so back. They just beat the Lions. We saw this as we were commentating, and they get an easy game against the Raiders. It would be shocking if the Raiders won. I don't really see a path for it to happen. I know the Raiders can score more points, but I don't know how that's going to happen. So, we don't have to belabor. Chiefs win. We can move on to the next game.
It's the Carson Wentz revenge game, we think and we hope. I don't think J.J. McCarthy's the quarterback here. It's Carson Wentz facing his former team with the Philadelphia Eagles coming into Minnesota, taking on the Vikings. This is going to be an interesting one. Personally, I think it'll be really boring, but I think that the matchup is rather interesting. Philadelphia has been rather slow on offense, very boring to watch. Minnesota's got a good defense that they can get stops. The big question is, will their offense do enough against the Philly defense to actually steal a win? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Philadelphia is going to bounce back here. They are coming off an embarrassing loss to the Giants, which maybe said more about the Giants playing well with their young players stepping up. But Philadelphia, they're coming off a loss. They need to bounce back, and this is a good get-right game for them. So give me the Eagles in a close, ugly game. What have you got?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the upset here. I'm actually taking the Vikings to win the presumably Carson Wentz revenge game. Now, this isn't necessarily because I think Carson Wentz is going to play so well against his former team and be out for revenge or anything like that. I just kind of think, I think the Vikings are motivated enough because I think a lot of people are I think we're disrespecting them, and they're 3-2. They're not that bad. The Bears are also 3-2, and we're saying that they're suddenly a playoff team. Why can't the Vikings be as well? But also, I just think the Eagles are falling apart. This, maybe I'm overreacting, and maybe they'll shut me up and win the Super Bowl again, and it's all kumbaya and everything. But this does not look good. They lost to the Giants, they lost to the Broncos the week before, and AJ Brown and Devonta Smith continue to be frustrated. There just seems to be a lot of frustration brewing around the play call and things like that. I think this could fall off the rails, and honestly, like, if they lose this game, like, I don't know that I would be comfortable picking the Eagles to win the division, maybe let alone make the playoffs. I think it could unravel. I could be totally wrong. This could all be clipped, and then Eagles finish 13-4, and they could just destroy the Vikings and be totally fine. But I am kind of betting on them actually falling apart a little bit, and the Vikings. I think it's in Minnesota, right?
It is, yes. Home game for the Vikings.
That also helps. And Carson Wentz revenge games. Actually, give me the Vikings for the upset win.
All right, I respect it. I am now looking forward to seeing the outcome of this game. Previously, I did not care.
In its own way, it'll be fun to watch. I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing the outcome. But, we'll see what happens.
Here we go. We got the Carolina Panthers at the winless New York Jets. I'm a Panthers fan, as you all probably very well know at this point. I believe in my team. I pick this every week. We are 3-3 now. I can't remember the last time I said that, but we are 3-3 now, and it feels good, man. And you know what? We are winning this game. We are going to be 4-3 after this week, and you guys are going to have to start taking this seriously, because we are going to be a potential threat, a sleeper in the NFC. We could get to a wild card game. I am just saying, I will start up the playoff propaganda if we win this week. And yes, I know, this is such a classic letdown spot for us. Nope, I don't see how the Jets win this game. We should be able to run all over them. Their offense functions through the run game, and our run defense has been outstanding the past couple of weeks. We held Devon Achane to under 20 yards. We held Javonte Williams, a top 5 running back this year, to a very low total as well. The past 2 weeks combined, we've outrushed our opponents over 400 yards to under 50 yards, which is insane. So give me the Panthers. Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard in that backfield are going to be insane this week. Bryce Young will play another safe game because the Jets don't know how to get turnovers on defense. Daniel, what are you going to do? Don't pick against us again. Don't do it.
Right. I mean, you would think I'd learn from my mistakes. But I do want to acknowledge first that, and I know I talked about it in the kind of our stream yesterday or whatever, but I did apologize to Panthers fans, especially you, because I kept picking against y'all, thinking I'm going to get the easy swing game because you're being too optimistic. But y'all smacked the Dolphins. I know it was closer, but y'all beat the Dolphins and y'all smacked the Cowboys. Well, they were closer. So maybe smack is a little strong, but y'all did win those games, which gives you credit. You're playing the 0-6 Jets. That said, this is going to be why. Now, hear me out as to why I'm picking the Jets to win this game. The reason is, I think, there's no reason. I do think the Panthers will win.
Oh, thank goodness. I was about to go on a 5-minute rant.
I couldn't even make up a reason if I wanted to. They're motivated after going 0-6. They're finally just going to...
If they win this game, it's not because of anything they do. It's because Bryce Young turns it over 2 or 3 times and we can't come back. That's the only way.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But no, I objectively, even if I were a Panthers hater, I would pick the Panthers to win. There's just no way. The Jets, I don't think they're an 0-17 team, but they...
I don't know. Go watch a Jets game and then rethink that statement. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I'm sorry, Jets fans. Y'all don't deserve this, but your team has... Yikes. It's bad.
Yeah, well, surely they can tank for Arch Manning. Oh, wait. Arch Manning's not that good.
Whoops.
Yep.
Imagine they draft him anyway. Anywho, Panthers win. Keep pounding. We're going to be 4-3 and firmly in the NFC playoff race.
Keep pounding. If the Eagles lose, you'll have the same record as the Eagles.
We already have the same record as the Chiefs, though. I'm just saying. We are basically the Chiefs of the NFC. Next up, you got the New England Patriots taking on the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Titans just fired their head coach, which means they're going to play much better, and that's why I'm going to pick the Titans to lose. They're going to lose to the Patriots. I'm just kidding. Patriots are absolutely supposed to win this game. I know it's at Tennessee, but Drake May is playing legitimately like an MVP candidate right now. I don't know if people are talking about him enough, but I've not seen him have a bad game. They currently lead the AFC East now after the Bills lost on Monday night to the Falcons, which I hate the Falcons for that, but congrats to the Patriots. If they can keep it up, that'd be remarkable, honestly. Mike Vrabel, this is his revenge game as he returns to the Titans, who were really, really, really stupid to fire him, but be that as it may, they have a chance to get revenge. I'm just telling you they won't, so give me the Patriots.
Yep. Give me the Patriots too. And I do know, oftentimes a team just plays better. They rally, when they fire a head coach and play for an interim and things like that. And, I do think for that reason it could be a little bit closer than we sort of think. But I do think, the Patriots are a really button-up operation. The Titans are not. Literally, it just seems besides Cam Ward and, maybe Calvin Ridley, they have, no one on offense. Honestly, that offense is just so sad to watch. So I am going to pick the Patriots here to win. The only reason I would pick the Titans is because of the whole interim head coach boost, I guess. But it's just good team against bad team, like good team against very bad team, I should say. And I know it's in Tennessee, but whatever. Patriots win. And Vrabel makes a statement to the team that fired him, who just fired their current head, who just fired his replacement. So I
bet their fans wish they could have Vrabel back, right?
Oh yeah.
Moving on, it's the New Jersey Giants taking on the Denver Broncos. The Giants, 2 weeks ago, hey, I was giving them negative respect, if that's even possible, because they lost to the New Orleans Saints, who I hate with a passion. But then last week on Thursday Night Football, they stunned the Philadelphia Eagles. And that was a shocker, for sure. I didn't think the Giants were going to be competitive in that game, but Jackson Dart played really well. Cam Scatterbo is an amazing running back, apparently. I mean, he might have a 3-year career at most, but I mean, he's balling out right now. That's what matters. So the Giants' defense is also not terrible, but they're facing the Broncos, who field one of the best defenses in the league. Top 3 unit, maybe top 2, top 1, depending on who you ask. Don't ask me, though. I'll say Houston's the best. Denver's offense is not elite either. I think they're fine. They're solid. I'm a little concerned by how close they play with the Jets, but I'm not going to read too much into that. It was, across the world after all, and the Jets' defense showed up for that game. This will be a close game in my opinion, but I am going to take the home team here in Denver. If it were at the Giants, I might be more tempted to go with the upset, but I think the Giants come back down to earth a little bit. Jackson Dart struggles against the Broncos defense. Cam Scatterbo can't do enough, and Denver takes home the win. Daniel, what have you got?
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you there. I think, like you said, playing close against the Jets doesn't really do much for me. I think, as I mentioned in the last broadcast, it's just a close win against a bad team. A win's a win. You just win in London. You just get out of there. I do think it could be a little bit the Giants are playing pretty well, and I also do think maybe the Broncos traveling back. I listened actually somewhere that teams generally traveling back from Europe do pretty bad, so it'll be pretty interesting to see how that goes. But I do think the Broncos will be well prepared. They'll be buttoned up and everything. And I just don't know. As fun as the Giants have been to watch, I just don't know if it's sustainable for the whole season. I don't think they're suddenly going to go on some playoff run or anything like that. They'll be fun to watch and everything. But I do think for this individual game, the Broncos are better. And as you said, that their defense could overwhelm kind of the rookie duo in Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. So, give me the Broncos. Not the most comfortable pick, but I'm going to take the Broncos here.
Yeah, it's funny how this is suddenly not comfortable. If the Giants hadn't beaten Philadelphia, we would probably not even give this game much thought. We'd just assume the Broncos win. Right. But the Giants showed they can play a good game, so anything's possible.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the outcome is for sure.
Next up, we got what may be the game of the week, we think and we hope. It's the 5-1 Indianapolis Colts. How they are 5-1, I do not know. What reality is this? Indiana Jones, MVP candidate? Man, taking on the 2-loss Chargers over there in LA. They are dealing with a lot of injuries. This, I think, will be a close competitive game. Both of these teams struggled last week against inferior opponents. The Colts almost upset by the Cardinals, starting Jacoby Brissett. I've had some time to think on that, and I'm less concerned right now. Maybe it's just a backup quarterback came in unexpectedly, because Kyler, all week we were kind of thinking he's probably going to play. Then in comes Jacoby. You don't have much film on the guy in Arizona, if any. So maybe the defense just didn't have much of a plan, but they're going to know what to expect from Justin Herbert and company. You can expect their trio of receivers, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, Ladd McConkey, all ready to go. The LA run game was led by Kamani Vidal last week, if that's how you say his name. He went off. Amarian Hampton's not returning yet. The Chargers' offensive line is going to be the biggest question mark here. If they cannot hold off the Indianapolis defense, then Justin Herbert will have trouble. I do think that Indy's defense isn't elite, and I think that Justin Herbert's going to have a good day thrown to those receivers. So I am going to take the Chargers for a little bit of an upset here, depending on who you ask. I think the Chargers at home with both of their fans in attendance are going to get the job done. Indiana Jones will make it a game. It'll be a last-second kind of thing for the Chargers winning, maybe a game-winning field goal. 30-27 final score. Lock it in.
Yeah, that's a very interesting pick for sure, and obviously, it's a really good game. It'll be a good test for the Colts to kind of see how they play against a good team. I'm actually picking the Colts here, and like you said, it may or may not be an upset. I don't even know necessarily. I don't know what the line is. I didn't necessarily check, but I did notice that the Colts, while they now, the reason I picked the Colts is I do feel every time I look at them play, they just win. Now, I will say, I understand, they beat up on the Dolphins, the Broncos, the Titans, the Raiders, the Cardinals. I do understand that they've had some weak opponents. And, maybe they'll get exposed. Maybe they finally play a good team and lose that game. But it just seems like they are playing really well. They're 5-1, so I do think that combined with like the Chargers just have not impressed me as of late. So it seems like it's a Colts stock rising, Chargers stock lowering. So and I can see the path obviously where the Chargers win. Like maybe the Chargers got a little bit healthier and like they're running back Vidal or whatever his name is, like really kind of like makes a name for himself somehow. And Justin Herbert, obviously, I still think he's elite. And like anyone who questions that in 2025 is kind of crazy. But yeah, give me the Colts to win. I'll be here for it if my division rival loses and the top of the AFC South shows some weakness. But I do think the Colts are a little bit of a better team. And yeah, I don't necessarily. I know there are a lot of people who think that they're like, oh, they're frauds. Like the whole Daniel Jones magic isn't going to last. Like I think it's like sustainable. I think they're. Really
I agree. I'm going to have them like top 3 in my power rankings. So, like I view them very fondly. I think they're Super Bowl contenders. I just also like the Chargers enough to pull the trigger in this one and say they get the job done at home. I'm not confident, but it's just a feeling.
I do think it is 2 good AFC teams just going at it. But give me the Colts.
Moving on, it is the Green Bay Packers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Packers have one of the best records in the league. Technically, they're 3-1-1, but lately they've just not been that impressive to me. I was hoping to see more against Cincinnati on Sunday. I thought their offense would put up more points, and they just didn't. Mm-hmm. They were in firm control of that game through the end, but it was still closer than I expected. The Cardinals, meanwhile, started Jacoby Brissett against the Colts and almost pulled off the upset, which that impressed me. I am going to take the Packers in this game because they should just straight up be the better team. Cardinals offense should not move the ball much against the Packers' stout defense. The Packers offense should be able to do enough against the Arizona defense. They should be able to control the game. I think it'll probably be similar to the game against Cincinnati. Give me the Packers here, but I would like to see them look a lot better here.
Yep, I tend to agree with you there. Give me the Packers here as well. And I would tend to agree, though, that like they haven't quite like opened up their offense, maybe as much as you would like. I think they're relying a lot on the run game, and like you'd really like to see like a breakout from like Matthew Golden especially, but just like you'd like to see something there, but it just may not be. Like the play calling just may not be there. Kind of just indicative of but just it may not cater to Matthew Golden sort of like just like breaking out or whatever. I know like breaking out, he's a rookie, that's not the right term, but you know what I mean. But essentially, I do think the Packers offense does leave something to be desired. But that said, I do think they're that better than the Cardinals. I do think it is in Arizona, but that doesn't really make a huge difference for me. But yeah, give me the Packers relatively comfortably. I mean, the Colts, not Colts. I was thinking about their opponents from last week. The Cardinals could pull off the upset. I wouldn't be shocked at all. But give me the Packers here in this spot.
Yeah, and one other side note to make, Jonathan Gannon, head coach of the Cardinals, I think this is year 3 for him. Yeah. If the losses keep adding up for Arizona, this might be it for him. He might be fired. I don't know if it'll be this game, but I think that's something to monitor throughout the year. The Arizona head coaching job may be opening up this offseason. So it's just something to note.
It just might be at some point you just got to pull the trigger, I think, and realize that Jonathan Gannon's just not good enough.
Yeah, I think Gannon's gone, and I think Kyler's also gone this offseason. So sorry, Arizona.
Yep.
Moving on, we have a very intriguing division matchup here. The Washington Commanders take on the Dallas Cowboys. Both of these teams coming off upset losses that shocked people, and I'm using the air quotes because the Panthers being the Cowboys was not that big of an upset. I digress. Dallas has an elite offense, one of the best in the league. They also have a putrid defense that basically anyone could score on. I'm pretty sure I could line up against them and score points at this point. I'm kidding, but also it's that bad. Washington, meanwhile, they're coming off a loss to the Chicago Bears, which also I predicted that as well, so I'm not really surprised. I have never really thought Washington was going to be that good this year. I think I projected them to go like 9-8, 8 or 9, something like that, and miss the playoffs. So far, they're doing about as I expected. Very inconsistent. I am going to take the Cowboys in this game at home. I think that they should be able to score a good bit on the Washington defense. I think they'll crack 30 points. It's going to be on Washington to keep up, and I just think that they will come up a little bit short. So give me Dallas. It's a 31-28 type of score. Should be an entertaining game. Definitely one to watch if you like points.
Yep. I'm actually going to agree with you there. I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game as well. I will say, full disclaimer, though, I didn't really watch most really any of the Commanders game tonight. They did. I did see the Jaden Daniels fumble. I reacted to on our live stream, our short live stream, which whenever we're live, you should come say hi. But anyway, I did react to that. I was pretty shocked that it happened, and the Bears just kind of drove down the field. So I saw that, but otherwise, I didn't really see like the Commanders game. Like apparently, Jane had a pretty good stat line otherwise, but I digress. I am going to pick the Cowboys to win. I do think, like, as I alluded to earlier, I do think there's a chance that the Eagles kind of like fall off as far as like, their chances of like winning the division. Right here, right now, I still think they will. But if they lose to the Vikings and kind of like go on a landslide, then like I do think the division is a little bit up for grabs. I do think this will be a statement game. One of the many statement game for Dallas to win the game, and it's kind of proved that like, hey, we're contenders, at least for the division title. I think a lot of people like wrote off the Cowboys, thought they'd be like pretty bad under Schottenheimer and things like that, but I think they've been pretty formidable for the most part. I know they've had a couple like weirdly bad games here and there, but give me the Cowboys here.
Yeah, I like it. And of note here, if the Commanders lose this game, they fall to 3-4. And after that, they play the Chiefs, the Seahawks, and the Lions. 3 consecutive games against opponents who will be favored against them. So if the Commanders don't win this game, they might be in trouble. I can tell you now, I would pick the Chiefs, Seahawks, and Lions to beat them. So this is definitely a game the Commanders need to win. Doesn't mean they will, though. I'm going to stick with Dallas, and you got the Cowboys as well. We'll see if this ages well or not.
Yep, we'll see. But for this game, how about them Cowboys?
Sunday Night Football, because the NFL hates me and wants the Falcons to get every single primetime game there is. It's the Atlanta Falcons taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Daniel, you don't hate the Falcons like I do, so tell me what you see here.
Yeah, and also I did just watch pretty much the whole Bills versus Falcons game, and what I will say is that the Falcons did look very impressive. Obviously, the score should be an indicator of like, oh, they beat the Bills, whom we thought were the best team in the AFC, so that's somewhat impressive, but if you watch the game, you notice that Drake London and Bijan Robinson really went off. I'd have to check their actual stat line, which I am actually curious.
I did see that at halftime they were both over 100 yards, which is insane.
Yes, at halftime they combined for like almost 300 yards, them two. But Bijan Robinson finished on 19 carries for 170 yards and a touchdown. Drake London 10 catches for 158 yards and a touchdown. Now, maybe there could be some weakness in that they're so reliant on those two guys that like if something happens or they just get like covered or schemed against or something that they could be like exposed. But the Falcons did really impress me. And on the 49ers side, they just lost a game to the Bucks. The Bucks just kind of like outplayed them, and also I do think it was kind of like apparent that the 49ers injuries are starting to like catch up to them. I mean, Fred Warner is just out for the year, and Christian McCaffrey's the only healthy guy, and they're still playing Mac Jones, so I think he's playing okay, but it's just like, that said, I am taking, this might be recency bias since I just watched them beat the Bills, I am taking the Falcons to win this game against the 49ers. I do think the Falcons are playing very impressively, at least from last game, but also the 49ers, the injuries just continue to pile up. And I know we both liked the 49ers to maybe win the division, if not be like NFC contenders. But if they can't stay healthy, then like it's gonna look pretty bleak. I still think they can be like a very tough 8, 9, 10 win team, something like that. I don't think they're gonna go with 7 and 10 necessarily, but I do think that they start to falter a little bit because of the injuries. So give me the Falcons to win this game. But Isaac, by how many points do you have the 49ers winning by?
Well, let me start off by saying I didn't watch the game with the Bills and Falcons. I was watching the Commanders-Bears. So I can't really speak too knowledgeably, but I am going to guess that game said more about Buffalo than Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's been inconsistent this year. Carolina beat them 30-0. Can we start respecting our defense now, please? Please? Yeah. I'm just saying, guys, our defense is legit, or at least not terrible like a lot of people still think. But yeah, Atlanta, credit where it's due. They won the game because their playmakers finally all played well. I actually am going to pick Atlanta to win this game. I've had this circled for a few weeks as an upset, although now it's not going to be viewed by a lot of people as an upset. But weeks ago, I was thinking, okay, this is a good letdown spot for the Niners. They got to start taking losses. And the injuries just keep piling up. As you said, we both said all offseason they were going to win their division, go from worst to first. But that was not with all the injuries in mind. Like, I think they've lost every star player except Christian McCaffrey, which is amazingly ironic, and I hate it for them, but at least McCaffrey's healthy. I don't know. I think it'll be a close game. I'm going to say Atlanta gets another primetime win because, again, the NFL hates me. But, yeah, we both got Atlanta. I hope they lose. I don't have much more to say. I don't think either team is going to be a playoff team as of right now, though.
Yeah, I probably tend to agree with you there. It is kind of weird. It's just kind of weird how it all played out. But also, for what it's worth, Kyle Shanahan a revenge game, I guess, if you can call it revenge. I mean, Kyle Shanahan versus his former team. I don't know. Like, I feel like every single game is some sort of revenge game. But it'll be fun to watch, surely.
Monday Night Football, and in my view, the game of the week. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Detroit Lions. The Bucks have one of the best records in the NFL. It's them and the Colts both at 5-1 because the NFL hates Daniel and I as Houston Texans and Carolina Panthers fans. Our rivals are doing great. Of course. The Lions are coming off a tough loss to the Chiefs. I don't want to read too much into it. I think they played it close for a while, but their lack of health on defense, especially in that secondary, kind of wore them down, and also the Chiefs didn't have any penalties in this game. Do with that information whatever you wish. I know, league is rigged. Anywho, I am going to say the Lions bounce back here. If they lose the game, I'm going to hate it because I am a Panthers fan rooting against the Bucks, but I think the Lions are going to bounce back after that tough loss. I think that Tampa, while they have a 5-1 record and they know how to win close games with Baker Mayfield just being an absolute dog, I think that the Lions are going to be able to pull away here. I think it'll be entertaining. It could be a preview of the NFC Championship game, possibly. I don't know yet, but this is definitely one to watch. Definitely a matchup between Super Bowl contenders. I'm calling Tampa that now. Give me the Lions, though.
Yes, I am actually picking the Lions to win as well for the bounce back. I do think it is a battle between two really good NFC teams. Although I will say the Bucks are pretty injury riddled and they've been winning despite it. But like you'd think at some point the magic runs out, and I do think it is in Detroit. It is on Monday night, and I think they will be very motivated after that game against the Chiefs. That maybe you could argue that if they only allowed the Jared Goff catch to stand, that the momentum would have been on their side and things like that. But I'm actually picking the Lions to bounce back as well. Although it wouldn't shock me if the Bucks won and just clearly solidify themselves as one of the, if not the best team in the NFC. But I'm gonna have the Lions here. I think they'll kind of establish their dominance as far as the NFC goes. And that's really all I gotta say. Dan Campbell's good. I don't know.
Hey, look, if Tampa wins, I know I'm a Tampa hater, but I try to be objective. If they win, I will power rank them at the very top. I'll do it.
Yeah, as they should be.
Yeah, if they get this win, they deserve to be there. But give me the Lions, hopefully, to win the game. Monday Night Football. Again, because it's another doubleheader the NFL insists to force upon us. It is the Houston Texans taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Daniel, I'll let you lead on this one. What have you got here as a Houston fan?
So, yeah, definitely, I can rave. Well, first of all, we just came off a bye, so there's not really much I can change about, my perspective of the Texans. You all know what I think is that, we are on a 2-game winning streak against bad teams, per se. We beat up on the Titans, who just fired their coach, and the Ravens, who right here, right now, look like one of the worst teams in the league. I know they're bringing back Lamar Jackson, potentially, and, they could go on a run, sure, but they're not that good currently, So I'm trying not to be too optimistic about that, but our offense is really turning it on. C.J. Stroud is playing well. And, of course, our defense, I proclaimed this time last week, which is that we do have the best defense in the league. And, honestly, if you disagree with me, I mean, if you want to fight me on over the Broncos, I really don't have a big problem with it, but I do think our defense is better. Just we play very physical, and we have the combination of both the kind of terrorizing pass rush with Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson, as well as the no-fly zone with Stingley and Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock and players like that. Jalen Petrie, of course. And so I can rave on about the 2-3 Texans, but I digress. On the Seahawks side, you have a team that has played very impressively, I would say. They had a week 1 loss to the 49ers, but then they beat the Steelers, they beat the Saints, they beat the Cardinals, and then their most recent win, they lost to the Bucks. That was a very close, exciting game, but they most recently beat the Jaguars, who did just beat the Chiefs. That is a pretty good quality win for them. And Houston Texans are coming off a bye, although I was doing my research, and I was I mean, I know D'Amico's only coached like 2 games theoretically off a bye, but I was like, what? Because he's in the second year. I was like, what's his record off a bye? And I go to 2023, and you want to know what he did off a bye in his first year as a head coach? We lost to y'all.
So, that was against us.
Yeah. That game, it was like 15-13. It was, I guess, Bryce Young's first win. That was off a bye. I
did not realize that.
Second game was a win against the Dolphins, so it's not like he's terrible off a bye, but it doesn't necessarily impress me. He's probably not going to come down as a coach who's like, 20 and like 2 off a bye in his career or something like that. If D'Amico does coach for 22 years, that'd be amazing. But anyway, so we are coming off a bye, but it is in Seattle. It's a very late game, so the body clocks are going to be like affected. As much as I'm optimistic about our playoff chances, our offense, our defense, CJ Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, everything like that, in this individual game, I am taking the Seahawks.
Wow.
I just think they do look a little bit better. I think most things favor them. I can see the Texans winning, and I do like the delusion is there for me to pick them. And if we win, it'll be a statement win. But I do think the Seahawks just have it, a little bit better. I mean, they're coming off technically like a mini bye, if you count like the extra day, I guess. But like, I'm picking the Seahawks to win this game. I think they've looked really good. Sam Darnold looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I do think like our defense will still play really well. It'll be something weird, like 19-22 or something like that, the final score. Yeah. But I am picking against my team. I'm picking the Seahawks, but what about you, Isaac? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought you were going to take Houston. I thought we'd have a swing game here because I'm going Seattle. I hate to do it. I'll be rooting for you guys, of course, and we'll probably I think we're definitely going to be commentating on this one, and that'll be fun. But I think Seattle is the better team. I think that their defense has been really good this year. Aside from the Tampa game where Tampa's offense was really clicking there, I think Seattle's defense was unhealthy in that game. I think their secondary will be healthier for the Houston game. And Houston's offense, I have to see it against a good team to believe it. I know you guys put up points against the lowly Titans and extremely injured Ravens team. So I have to see it to believe it. I'm not going to predict it. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I don't think you guys crack 20 points. Meanwhile, I trust Seattle to crack 20 points. The matchup here, JSN against Stingley, I think that's going to be good to watch. I think JSN is a top 5 receiver in the league right now, and I know Stingley is supposed to be a top 5 corner. I'm going to say Jason at least has a couple plays where he breaks free, and he's going to cross 100 yards again because he is the best receiver in the league this season right now. So I think Seattle has enough on offense, makes enough plays. Sam Darnold has a good day. It's going to be close. 2017 final score is my prediction. Give me Seattle.
All right. Well, I will say, though, not to like nitpick, but I would be surprised if we allowed like Jason to cross 100 yards just because I think our defense is just that good. I don't think we've actually allowed a receiver. Maybe we have. I'm just like missing someone, but that would surprise me for sure. But I mean, he has a good game. I'll be here for it. I mean, I think it's better for the NFL for like these young receivers to have like kind of break out and have these good games. So I'll be here for it.
Hey, we'll see what happens, and we will be live for it as well. We'll probably also be live for.
I do say that I did just realize Puka Nacua went for 10 catches, 130 yards. So
the second best receiver in the NFL this season, statistically based on yards.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Well, like I was saying, I think we'll be live. We'll definitely be live for Texans, Seahawks, and we'll probably be live for Lions, Bucks beforehand as well. So be sure to tune in for that. We will have good reactions.
Yep, for sure. It'll be a fun time.
All right, that will do it for our Week 7 NFL predictions. Let us know in the comments what you think, what we're going to get right and wrong. Drop your own picks because we would love to hear from you guys. I lead our little pick'em competition by 1 point right now. We've gone back and forth, though. It's anyone's game. We have 3 swing games this week, so that will be very crucial in determining the outlook moving forward. Daniel, how are you feeling about it?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, I think for the competition itself, like, again, it's, like, very close, and it's, like, I'd like to win, but also I'm not super competitive. Like, I'd rather be wrong but have good games than be right but the games suck, right? It's like it's really an enjoyable experience. It also is a good excuse to like kind of like care about games that like maybe wouldn't have necessarily like had cared about beforehand. But like I was like, I was watching the end of the Commanders Bears game and like Jaden fumbled and like, what, really? And then like, so there's definitely some incentive there. It's like, I'd say it's a healthy way to add incentive that's not like gambling or even fantasy football. So I do really enjoy that element, but
agreed.
Yeah, honestly, right. We're already at week 7 and like before we know, we're gonna be at the halfway mark. And then like, so just I know there's the playoffs, so technically it wouldn't be the halfway mark, but we still got to enjoy football season while it's here, right? And yeah, any other thoughts? I think that's all good. I mean, we have some fun games on the horizon, and yeah, that's just about it.
Yeah, nicely put. I've also enjoyed the competition. I'm definitely competitive, so I'm going to keep studying up and trying to win this thing. And I agree. Like, I'll use the same example, Bears Commanders. I'm watching the end of that. I think that's the first time literally ever that I started cheering when Chicago clinched a game winner there. Like, last time I cheered during a Bears win, there wasn't a last time. I don't think that's ever happened. So, that's only because I knew that was a good result for me in the pick'em. That's it. So like you said, it's making us care about these games that we wouldn't have otherwise really cared about. Really get into it. Definitely good for us. I've enjoyed it for sure. In terms of our content, though, we are approaching, as of this recording, 350 subs. I think we'll probably pass that by the time this video is public. So thank you to all of our new subs. Thank you to all the support we've been getting. Just a month ago, we were at 200. We were celebrating 200. So really insane growth we've experienced. Absolutely insane. So thank you all so much. We can hope to keep going. We want to hit 500 by the end of the year. That's been our reasonable goal. Hopefully we can get 400 by the end of this month. I mean, if progress keeps going the way it is, then that would be awesome. So just shout out and thank you to everyone who supported us and continuing to enjoy our content. We will have a lot of videos out this week. If you're into college football, I'll have a few videos out sometime this week. Our power rankings are out on the channel as of Tuesday night, so be sure to check those out. Yeah, that's about all I got. We probably won't do anything for the Thursday night game because we have better things to do with our time, to be completely honest. If it's a close game, we'll probably do like a live reaction afterwards, so stay tuned for that. Big weekend of football ahead. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, sounds good. Big week ahead. And as Isaac said, I mean, our channel is growing, so really appreciate all the support and everything like that. And should be a good week of football. Very thankful that we live in a society where we just get to talk about football and publish it on YouTube. And we get our hate comments, but it's okay. We look through that.
Yeah, but we get a lot of happy, supportive comments too. So we appreciate all the support, really, you guys. So thank you so much. But that'll do it for today's video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. We'll see you on the next one. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Until next time.